Bye, Pat. Bye.
Hey, and we are the Coalition, loud and proud, outrage porn-free, civilly disobedient media. We are here in KP, as it's known in common parlance, Kennedy Plaza. The Save RIPTA people here are literally on a death watch because of the cuts that are going to transpire in just days. Incredibly enough, at a $14 billion budget, $4 million can't be conjured up to sever people from the community in a manner that, if you listen to the RIPTA folks, and we do here, is heartless, cold, and ultimately calculating. We're here with Helena Buonanno, folks. She is in competition. Some would say she's leading the pack. We're political watchers here over Governor Dan McKee in the race for the gubernatorial nomination for the Democratic Party. We've run into each other before. We're going to have to ask you to use your outside voice, so come a little closer.
Yep, got it.
But we've run into you before. Earlier this winter, you were at the takeover, the semi-hostile takeover of the Providence City Council when the City Council chambers were turned into the homeless shelter for that. So you're appearing in a lot of different spaces, non-traditional spaces, quite frankly, for major party nominees. What are your thoughts on RIPTA, as we say, RIPTA, and the cuts? And from your perspective, as someone who's run large businesses in this state, what kind of impact is this going to have?
Yeah, well, I've been showing up because I think that budgets reflect the values of a state. And in a budget of $14 billion, to me, it is absolutely insane that we can't find $10 million to keep all the riders getting to where they need to go. And I compare this to the $4.5 million that we're spending every single year now on permanent tow trucks on the Washington Bridge.
Right.
2 permanent tow trucks. That's a choice. That's a budget choice. And we made a decision that is more important, having them sit there all day, every day, rather than making sure all these people who showed up today are getting what they need. And I've been going to listening sessions since last winter.
Right.
And I've been listening to people, and I think for me it's been a way to make sure that I hear their voices, I know what they're going through, and as a leader, I can reflect the needs of the people of this state. And also reflect the fact that the future of transportation in this state and every state in the country is multimodal transportation, right? This is not just for a small group of people who can't afford to have their own car, although obviously that's very important. But if we're going to get businesses to come here and to give more jobs to people, we have to have a great transportation system.
To your credit, you were at a listening session at the Pawtucket Library on a rather dismal, I think it was a Monday night, that an interesting moment was held so late that a number of the folks couldn't come because they didn't have bus transportation.
Yes.
Your economic development plan as a potential governor, we're here in KP. The heart of this city is right here.
Right here.
Your economic development plan, we've got this misalignment, some would argue, between R.I.P. Commerce, who last year received $65 million to give away to companies from out of state to come here. Do you find it ironic that we can't fund folks who work and live here to come to work?
Yeah, of course, and we've got to find a way. I mean, when I've been listening all over the state, and I've done so many of these. To your point, the other one I really remember is the session I went to at URI. It was in February, freezing cold, and everyone in this teeny little room had taken the bus to URI, and their stories really affected me. Their stories were about people who said, if my bus route gets cut, I will lose my job, and I will therefore lose my apartment. So all these issues are really connected. And we have to be honest with people. I mean, one of the things I talked about was my support of an inspector general, because we got $4 billion in the Biden years, and we don't know where that money went.
Right.
And that money is the people's money. And I am very confident that we can find money to invest in the social services we need, and also make sure that people get great paying jobs. And that's really what I'm running.
Where does your experience, I'll say this, one of the most oft-debated areas is the ability of someone with senior level C-suite experience to effectively administer government. where, from your perspective, does your C-suite experience come in when it comes to managing a budget of this size?
Yeah.
What's the size of the CVS budget when you were in charge compared to this?
When I was in charge of CVS, I led 200,000 people. The state has 14,000 people. And I led a budget of $80 billion. The state has a $14 billion budget. So I know very well how to lead a budget at this scale. I'm very comfortable with it. But the other thing I really learned at CVS that I think most people don't understand is I got my best ideas going to the front line, watching in a pharmacy technician talk to a patient, a customer, and really watching what the pain points were so I could help solve them for them.
Folks, a final question here again. Helena, we get it right, we'll learn. Buonanno, folks, is with us, and obviously she's running for the governorship of the great state of Rhode Island.
Yes.
A couple of concepts, and I just want to throw these at you. There's the concept of a pipeline to poverty.
Andrew, you okay, buddy?
And, events like this facilitate sort of a downward spiral in folks who are challenged life. And the fact that Rhode Island is a very expensive state to be poor.
Yeah.
What would you comment on that?
Well, I was talking to my father, he's 87, and in 1963, he was making $10,000 a year, and he bought a home for $20,000. So I think about that ratio. Today we live in a state where, on average, someone makes $70,000, and the average home costs $520,000. So the math doesn't work for the average person, never mind people at who are really struggling the most. And so I everywhere I go in this state, what I find is people really care about each other. And I think what we want is to make sure that our budget reflects that, and we're taking care of people who most need our services, and RIPTA is a great example of that.
Where can folks find out about your campaign, learn more about where you stand on issues like the RIPTA?
It's still early, but you can go to HelenaFoulkes.com. I will be building out all my policy positions over time, but I really look forward to it. And I'm happy to be in the race because I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people. This is a state that's so small, and I can meet lots of people along the way.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.